Ladies, gentlemen, and haradrim of all ages, Blizzard is a funny company sometimes. At this point, I don't even feel upset, it makes me laugh. Yesterday we had the release of the mid-season patch for Diablo 4, and let's just say that the dev team maybe needed a little bit more time to cook with this one. The patch itself was, in theory, fine. We saw the notes a few days ago, and while it was definitely underwhelming as far as both the changes and buffs for most of the classes, with the only actual meaningful buffs being applied to the one class that doesn't really need it in Barbarian, but hey, at least they did apply buffs to everything, right? It was all buffs, no nerfs, even if most of them were minor, right? Well, there were also a number of other fixes and such within the patch, some rebalancing for the pit and stuff like that, but as seems to be pretty standard right now, there were a number of unintended changes that have hit with the patch as well, quite specifically, new bugs. And this time around, there seems to be a number of these, a number of parts of the patch that have simply not actually applied despite tooltips in-game being updated. So, quite simply, let's just break down all the things that have changed or not changed that we're supposed to with the mid-season patch, and any response the devs have had to these so far. First things first, something so directly called out that has even been given a warning on the launcher on PC is that the Holy Bolt's elixir, after the changes, is now suddenly just causing people's game to crash in concerning numbers, to the point that they just literally have disabled the effect of the elixir entirely until further notice. Holy Bolts straight up do not work right now, so do not use those elixirs at the moment until the game is updated to actually fix these. You'll just be wasting your pots completely. Past that, one of the most interesting things that's come up, and the only other one that has as of yet been directly acknowledged by the developers, is a bug to Andariel's Visage, the uber unique. In the patch, this was supposed to be getting a change to both buff the damage of the effect and move the effect so that it triggers under enemies when it happens, but for whatever reason, and this is a fun one, the damage buff doesn't seem to be applied, but more importantly, the animation of the effect is updated so it looks like it is proccing the puddle under enemies, but the actual physical damage hitbox of it still spawns under the player, it's just invisible. In a similar vein, reports are coming in that the Tyrael's Might damage buff that was supposed to happen in the patch also did not take effect, so it seems multiple of these changes were struggling to actually activate, but it wasn't localized to just uber uniques either, as this Druid passive was also changed in the patch to give Druids bonus maximum life now, and it seems to not be giving Druids bonus maximum life, not having any effect, even though the tooltip definitely is updated here. So another thing that seems to have not properly taken effect here, and then this one is definitely a bit more localized. I haven't seen many people mentioning this, but any amount of people having this problem from the patch is a problem, which is just a straight up inability to reset or change any and all paragon points, which is obviously pretty unideal if you want to do pretty much anything different with your character in the slightest, if you want to change just about anything up. Then the last major one of these that I have seen people talking about so far, and arguably the most saddening one in my opinion, Rapid Fire as a rogue build is once again broken after the patch. It was broken to begin with the season, then it was fixed, then a patch broke it, then a patch partially fixed it but not completely, then it was fixed again, but now it's broken again. The exact bugged interaction seems to specifically be that the ricochets are not proccing from Rapid Fire, which essentially just lowers your damage by an absolutely insane amount for what the skill is supposed to do, and just at this point, this poor build has just been battered over and over by unintentional nerfs in all of these patches happening this season, and it's such a shame because it is a really fun concept too that is completely new this season in the way that it functions because of a new unique, but it just keeps being ruined by the actual patches themselves. But hey, what can you do, I guess? So that's where we're at. We've been told that there is a hotfix coming relatively soon, both for the Holy Bolt's elixir issues and for the Andariel's Visage issues specifically. The only things that have been directly acknowledged, nothing else has been properly addressed, but as usual, when there are a pile of issues with a patch like this, if they acknowledge one or two of them, it generally means they are at least aware of the other things too. They know that the patch had problems, whether they are ready to comment on them yet or not. Overall, this is honestly just disappointing more than anything. Again, Season 4 as a whole has been awesome, but there have been a number of missteps when it comes to the active patching of the game this season. There are a number of fixes that they clearly do want to get into our hands to make the game feel better, and I can appreciate that, but it feels as if they are just being rushed a touch, just constantly. Last week's patch almost undoubtedly was rushed by the need to have it be near simultaneous with the Vessel of Hatred announcements, and this one seemingly rushed so that it could happen before the PTR that we are getting more information about later this week. More than anything, I just view it as an irritant. The decisions being made purposefully by the team are feeling better and better for us as players, in my opinion. Their actual goals are solid, but the mid-season patch does a middling job of actually buffing what needs buffs, and the amount of either new issues introduced or parts of the patch that just didn't actually apply as intended is definitely a a problem. It's one that can be fixed, but to me, this many problems and this many patches as frequently indicates that they just need to slow down a bit here. They need to rein it in, get it all just sort of back under control. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video then, and hopefully these issues do get fixed sooner rather than later, because this is just sort of becoming a bit of a clown show at this point. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world our stage. Goodbye.